Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Well, welcome to episode 38, Two Guys, One Coup podcast. How are you, Jim?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, everyone, again, for the continued support and feedback. We really do appreciate it. It's panning out, and we'll tell you at the end of the show what
That's
is
awesome.
exactly going on. We've got some very exciting news, so stay tuned till the end for that.
And I apologize for the glow of me.
Are
The
you pregnant?
hotel. No, it's just that the hotel's a little too dark and
Yeah.
the light next to me doesn't work, so I'm trying to manipulate stuff. So
People stay in seedy hotels. They tend to be dark and unlit, for that
I
reason.
kind of look like one of those guys on Ghost Hunters.
Serial killer show.
Okay. Well, that
they're always the last guy you suspect, and I don't suspect you of that.
Always.
So
Nope.
I got to assume you're that guy.
Well, remember, don't kill somebody you know.
That's it. It seems simple.
So you're safe.
There's no way. Immediately they trace you back to me, right?
Exactly.
If they watched any of the previous shows, they'll be like, yeah, there's no way Jim likes this guy. So he's a goner. He's got it. He did it. Jim, in the spirit of time, because I know you've got time constraints today too, and we're just trying to move forward with this. Why don't we just get started right away? Again, stay tuned at the end of the show for exciting news. But let's get started right now with our first segment.
Well, we finally have some politicians that are, kind of taking a stand against some of this transitioning of children. And I know we keep talking about this, but we feel that this is an important topic. We really do. And the reason why I brought this up is because we have we have Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas. He's a Republican. And Representative Jim Banks from my area.
Indiana.
He's my congressman from Indiana.
Yep.
They're introducing a legislation Wednesday in Congress that would allow adults to sue doctors who perform gender transition procedures on them up to 30 years after they turn 18.
Oh,
so yeah. So let's say a doctor does a surgery on a 12-year-old and they didn't need it. It was that you shouldn't have had done. Then they're allowed 30 years after they turn 18 to get this done. So potentially 48 the age of 48. And just real simple. I believe the reason why they're doing this is to make doctors think twice about doing this to
anybody under 18.
It's just, they just don't know. Know what it is.
It takes harsh punishment sometimes for people to finally wake up, eye for eye kind of stuff. So makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I think now I don't know if it's going to gain any traction because it is
going to be hard.
Because it is, the funny thing is it's a senator and a congressman who put this together.
Oh,
so
true.
But the law will also require that federal law, here's what everyone's going to like. Clarifies the federal law cannot be construed to force medical practitioners to offer such procedures and prohibits federal health funds from going to states that force doctors to perform them.
Yeah, I love it.
So, I love it.
On
paper, this sounds good. And no, people, it's not going against transgenders. That's not what this is. It's for
minors.
Kids. It's minors going through this because, I'm sorry, they don't know. I don't care if they're 16-year-olds and they really do feel that way. You can wait till you're 18.
Correct.
There's no. But to
I felt like driving when I was 7.
Exactly.
Yeah. Guess what? Had to wait. That's driving. That's not altering my genetics. Yeah.
Basically, to define a gender transition procedure, the bill draws on definitions laid out in a March fact sheet from the Department of Health and Human Services, which claimed gender-affirming care includes social affirmation at any age, puberty blockers, Those are the key things.
Yep.
And cross-sex hormone therapy, which is another, starting during the adolescence. Irreversible surgery to both breasts or genitalia is typically used in adulthood or case-by-case basis in adolescence, according to the agency. The bill also specifically defines biological sex. This is another one I like. The genetic classification of an individual as a male or a female.
That's it.
As reflected in the organization of the body of such individuals for reproductive role. So in other words, the governor, the wonderful governor of the great state of Michigan,
oh God,
they refers to him as menstruation group.
What's her name? Kristen Whitmore or something like that?
Whitmer. It's Whitmer.
Whitmer.
Yeah.
Whitmer.
And it, anyway, so what basically this bill is doing is what we've been talking about since day one. Doctors don't get stupid. And it's going to make sure that we can't use federal fund money to go towards this for minors.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't say anything about painful, but again, you and I have talked about it. I don't care after you're the age of 18 and you want to do something like this, as long as you pay for it. I don't care what you do.
You mutilate your own body at that point. You're a grown adult.
So basically what I think this does is I think it's going to actually help, because I think there's more doctors that are coming out against this. Some of them are being careful because the woke movement just destroys them when they come out.
Correct.
But but there was a quote here that I thought from Doug LaMalfa, who was a Republican from California. I love seeing that. Republicans from California. I just
rare.
If Democrats truly supported gender-confused children, they would support our effort to give them legal recourse. Because he's also helping banks spearhead the bill out of the House of Representatives. And this is Doug LaMalfa, Republican of California.
Yeah.
So, but Cotton and Banks are the latest lawmakers to weigh in on the national debate over what the Biden administration has described as gender-affirming care for minors. Now, basically, what this is doing, it's doing what we hope is making people understand that children are children. Okay, just because they feel like they're going through something doesn't mean that they're in the wrong sex. It doesn't mean that this and that. So I think this is a big bill. I don't think it's going anywhere. I really don't. But I think it's at least something that's out there that's trying to make this movement that's going around. Right. I mean, we're not discriminating against transgenders. I mean, we're not. Yeah, we make fun of it. We laugh and we joke. Okay, because that's what we do. Right, Dale? That's what we do. We do that. That's who we are. We joke at each other. So, I mean, that's just what we do.
We make fun of everybody.
Exactly. So
nobody's spared.
But what we won't make fun of are children being put through this process that later on, because you just have to look at the increase in suicides. I mean, is it actually, do we know if it's scientifically associated with it? We don't know, but we do know that in the states that allow this stuff to happen, the drugs and stuff, it is surprising in the age group of 12 to 23, how the suicide rate's up.
Yep.
So very important
that leads you to believe there's some equation between.
There's definitely something going on here.
I mean, common sense will tell you that.
Now, basically, there's something in here that they cite. Citing peer-reviewed studies as well as lack of conclusive evidence and the potential for long-term irreversible effects. That's what this is. The Florida Department of Health took issue with Levine's blanket claim by releasing its own fact sheet. Way to go, Florida. Sometimes I wonder what we'd do without you guys do.
Oh my God. Got a little story out of Florida coming up.
Advising against the HHS's list of treatment options for children and adolescents experiencing gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
Now, Alabama began enforcing a ban on gender transition surgery and hormone blockers for minors in early May. So we have states that are actually doing this. Arkansas legislature passed a similar law banning doctors from prescribing the drugs in March, but courts said that it was overly broad, and the state's Republican governor, Asa Hutchinson, vetoed it in early April. So I think they got to clean some things up in it. I think that's all that means. So don't freak out. Don't panic. I just think it's one of those things where, okay, we got to clean up some verbiage in this one. But
it's wording.
So Alabama's another one of those that's really getting ahead of some of this woke stuff in a big way. In Arkansas,
because they got an amazing governor too,
yes,
Kay Ivey, if you've ever seen her.
Awesome
and governor.
But it just it looks like we're getting some penetration here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad word. That's a bad word. I'm sorry.
Jim.
I didn't, and that wasn't even. That was just a oops. I didn't mean to speak anything, but
so penetration came to your head.
And I got to be honest with you, I'm really proud of my state because a lot of people make fun of Indiana, right? But I love it.
Flyover states, they make fun of every flyover state.
So we have a Representative Jim Banks who's pushing this. We've had Senator Mike Braun who was one of the 11 senators to vote against the money given to Ukraine, and then our Attorney General Todd Rokita is going after BLM, is going after some other not-for-profit groups because you got some guys there making a name for themselves. Put your money where your mouth is.
Sure.
So it's a neat thing to see. It is, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. I really do because I can't wait to hear the left, all the hate and all that stuff. When again, I don't know the exact percentage, so don't I'm not going to throw anything out, but maybe you do. I don't know, but. We're talking to such a small percentage of the population is transgender.
I don't think with all this talk you and I've done, I've never really looked that up. It is small. Come on. It's small.
It's not only that, it's so small that we're making it such a big issue. Well, we aren't, but there's people making this such a big issue that, are they trying to increase the percentage? What are they doing?
Well, you tell me. It seems to be trendy going through. First of all, on that article, let me backtrack a little bit and what you spoke about, which was great. I mean, that's good news. I wonder how that's going to equate to some of the teachers and or what am I thinking of? Counselors in school that are leading these kids towards this transgendering stuff. It should put a halt to that too, I would think. Because there's going to be nowhere for them. They're not going to be able to just, okay, we're going to start you on these puberty blockers. We recommend that you do that because to me, they could be held responsible too, if you ask me. A lot of these counselors and stuff and all of these things going on in the school. So I just wonder. So that's good news and good for your state, man, for a lot of folks fighting there. That's good news.
I think we get a lot of conservative people starting to fight back a little bit, and because Jim Banks made a mistake. When the woke movement first started coming out, he was a typical Republican that are trying to, they make a statement that thinks they're going to be okay, and then he just got ripped because it wasn't enough by the left. Of course, it's never enough with them, and then of course his right base was like, what the hell are you doing? I know. So there was some missteps, but everybody has them. They're trying to, it's one of these people that we're trying to, can't we just get along? And that's really what this is. Can't we just get along? And all we're asking, leave the kids alone. Leave them alone. I don't care if you're 22 years old and you want to start transitioning to whatever you want to be. I don't care. You want to call yourself a male, female, unbinary, whatever the hell you want to call yourself.
Non-binary.
Non-binary. I don't have to call you that.
Or intersex, as we learned last episode.
Yeah. I have to accept you, and I will, but I don't have to like it, and I don't have to agree with it. And that's where we are right now. And it's the left is sitting there trying to guilt us into this stuff. Say, oh, you're just so insincere. You're just not. No, we're not insincere. It's how we feel.
I think, Jim, they've led us to the point now where we're like, oh, we have to accept you as well, or we have to be inclusive and accept everybody. Is there at no point where we cannot accept it? Is there at no point where not everybody is inclusive into what I would call good human beings? Is there not a point where we can just say, that's it? No, we don't accept you. I feel somebody like Ted Bundy should not be accepted in the human race. I agree. They're pedophiles, rapists. I mean, these people, and people grooming children. I don't feel they're part of a good human race society. And I don't think they're equal. I don't accept them. Why should we?
And we've reported on, how many times have we reported on that we just think some of this stuff, and that's why we're trying to slow the roll, because we're giving another lane for pedophiles to get
We sure are. We sure are.
To the children.
We sure are.
And we've done stories on it, guys. So we're not making this up. This is legitimate crap that has happened, and
it has.
And I'm telling you, we need to take this seriously, and we need to wake up. And but hopefully this bill, even though I really don't think it stands a snowball's chance, and of making it, but still we're fighting back. We're fighting.
Not till maybe after the midterms, but it's a good time to present it. Yep. Now, I think, and if the midterms go as we damn well hope, and they should, then maybe at that point, that's when it becomes something. Yeah. Let me ask you, but then still got to go to the president's desk and he can veto it.
Well, but as a sign of what,
and he would.
And as a side note, I just want to add some things, because we keep talking about the midterms, and we don't want to talk about this too long, because we've talked about it before and we just move on. But it's just one of these things, like with the midterms coming up, it's, the Roe v. Wade thing, wait till after the midterms.
I know.
Don't say anything till after the midterms, because
they postponed it again, but I'm sure it's not going to wait till after the midterms.
It's got it. It has to, because if they don't, who knows what the Democrats are going to try to do?
Exactly.
They're going to stack this court, and then it's going to be a free for all. But the good news about it is you and I might qualify for a Supreme Court job.
Well, I believe we'd be more qualified than any Democrat.
So but that's all I got on that. So I just thought it was good news.
It's good.
Some good news.
It's good. Yeah. Let's let's move on. What do you say?
Yep.
Jim, I don't know where to begin. I've got stacks of stories, and I wish we had a 2-hour show today.
And I think the rest of America does too, probably.
Well, I'd say, why not? I mean, come on. They're clamoring for more Jim and Dale. I mean, people lining up. People lining up at our doors. The fan mail's getting insane out there. I think I'm going to get to the administration stuff. I've got a lot on that too, but I kind of want to just jump on this whole drag queen stuff again. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep jumping on it. And I had this prepared for last episode. Okay. This story and time didn't allow me. So it might be old news, and I'm sure it is old news. I mean, it happened last week, but I just want to talk about it. So you talked about Michigan. You talked about the governor, which is Whitmer, right? What we didn't speak about was the Michigan's attorney general, which you may have seen the story, you may not have. But Michigan's attorney general faces wrath from Republicans as she hits out a fake issues during civil rights conference speech and muses drag queens make everything better. Yeah. So this is a Michigan attorney general. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, Nessel, if you want to write her some fan mail, has hit out at those outraged by drag queens hosting educational events for young children, saying that they should be in every school. So here we go again. This kind of jumps right on to why bills like you just went over have to be established. Yep. Dana Nessel spoke out on Wednesday against fake issues such as drag queens hosting reading and dancing events in schools and libraries that are dividing people, adding that drag queens are fun and make everything better. Quote, "You know what is not a problem for kids who are seeking a good education? Drag queens," Nessel said during a speech at Civil Rights Conference reported by the Detroit News. Good for the Detroit News for actually reporting this. Surprising. They're not known for their conservatism.
Not at all.
She goes on and says, drag queens are entertainment. Well, I don't deny that. They are clearly probably some form of entertainment. Strippers. And you know what I'll say? What? I'm sorry?
Strippers are forms of entertainment. I mean,
Jim and Dale are a form of entertainment. I mean.
Probably right now, I would say the number one entertainment.
Jim, I like your attitude today, brother. I love it. She goes on and says, and you know what I'll say that was totally not poll tested? I'd say this. a drag queen for every school. Nessel added that drag queens lift children up when they are having emotional issues. Didn't clowns used to do that? I guess it's a form of clowns.
I think so.
Dress up.
Yeah.
Nessel's comments drew immediate criticism from Republicans as debates rage across the U.S. about how gender identity and young children should interact. Quote, a drag queen for every school is a great summation of today's Democratic Party platform, tweeted Donald Trump Jr., the son of former President Donald Trump. I think everybody knows who Donald Trump Jr. is.
Yeah.
Paul Cordes, the chief of staff of the Michigan Republican Party, said Nessel's comments are unbelievable. I agree. I mean, it doesn't even, why even, this is not normal. She shouldn't be allowed to joke this way, Dana. Dana Nessel is unfit for office, especially Attorney General, Paul Cordes tweeted. Nessel, meanwhile, said during her speech, I am so tired of having prominent members of our state government create wedge issues that don't help, that don't heal us, but divide us. And that's all they do. Nessel said drag queens are not a problem for kids who are seeking a good education. Well, before I go on, I'm sure the drag queens aren't sitting there in front of the chalkboards while the teacher's doing math questions. So you're right. They're probably not interfering with the teachings that are going on. But what is it showing kids? Why? What's the point of them? We need to take all communities in our state and lift them up and not tear them down, Nessel said. Jim, this story goes on for a minute, but I'm going to move on. I can't even believe why. What is it for one? What is the Attorney General doing? What is her purpose of talking about this in their state?
Dale, I want to go a little step further than that, and because I know we don't have an answer for it, but why are we pushing this? What is the end game here? We have got record-setting numbers going on with gas prices, with inflation. We are heading towards a recession.
And we've got big problems in public education.
Oh, huge problems.
Huge problems.
And we are talking a small percentage of the population, but we feel like we have to. What is going on? And have they not seen what's happened to Disney?
I know.
If you own stock in Disney, you're screwed. I mean, because I don't see it coming back. It's not like it was. It's just not gonna. And this is what woke happens.
But I agree, Jim.
You go woke, you go broke.
Yeah, I agree, Jim. I don't know what the end game is here. I can't pinpoint their purpose for doing this. Other than I feel if the big issue of the day was Republicans felt the sky was blue, every freaking Democrat would be, no, it's green. I mean, it's green, and we must include green in the sky color.
And they would pass the bill.
And they would pass a bill, and they'd hold a committee for those who started this whole "the sky is blue" rumor. You know,
boy, is that January 6th committee backfiring? Sorry, just sidetrack.
No, bring it up, say it. I don't care. But I know it kind of interferes, but it is backfiring bad. Yep. There is, first of all, nobody's watching it. Second of all, have you ever felt comfortable with a trial that doesn't have a defense? I mean, like. There's no defense. There's no witnesses for the other side.
And the Republicans on this committee they hate Trump. Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, and they're one's retiring, one's losing her seat. That's it. I mean, so good luck. Man. Although Trump had a bad night in Georgia last night at the primaries, didn't go so well. But that's all right. Something's weird going on in Georgia. Not going to say anything.
I'm going to tell
Don't say it, Jim.
Nope, I'm
Don't
not.
Say it.
Okay. You're right. Something very weird.
Something weird is going on there. Vernon Jones man, am I jumping ship today? It's all right. Vernon Jones, who was backed by Trump, great man, Vernon Jones, was polling at 75% and only garnered 24% of the vote.
I was stunned.
So I'm not saying anything. YouTube, something's going on there, and somebody's got to get to the bottom of it. Moving on real quick, Jim. I'll finish this segment with this. Nobody cares about soccer more than you and I, right? I mean, that's
kickball,
grass fairies. Nobody cares about them more than you and I, right?
Yep.
Well, Megan Rapino, you know who she is, right?
Yeah.
So she is the openly gay or lesbian. I guess she's the L portion of the people. Soccer, USA soccer player. I'm not going to say star. She tells girls that Megan Rapino tells girls, parents, to suck it up over trans athletes. Your kid's volleyball team just isn't that important. This is what she says. Soccer superstar, and they're using that term very loosely here, and political activist Megan Rapino argued in an interview published Sunday that female athletes and their parents need to suck it up over advantages biological male transgender athletes might have over girls.
Those damn parents.
Yeah, she said in a Time magazine that she's 100% supportive of trans inclusion in girls' sports, dismissing concerns about fairness while emphasizing that people need to understand that sports is not the most important thing in life. Well, sorry, sweetie. It is to some people.
Then why does the person have to compete?
Yeah. And why are there winners and losers? Why are there medals? Why are there awards? Why do you get paid more if you win? Why do you? Yeah, not that important. For some people, and I mean it, regardless, whether you're inner city, direct urban, rural, doesn't matter. It's a way for them to advance in life. Okay. Sports. Sports is a phenomenal outlet for kids, for one.
Yes.
And to have them work their whole lives for it to be destroyed. And we can get into the Leah Thomas thing if you want real quick, but they did ban, the NCAA, I think, banned all trans athletes from competing, regardless of their testosterone levels. Yep. All trans athletes. So finally, good for them.
Finally.
Let's see. And quote, I would also encourage everyone out there who is afraid someone's going to have an unfair advantage over their kid to really take a step back and think, what are we actually talking about here? The 36-year-old Rapino said, we're talking about people's lives. I'm sorry, your kid's high school volleyball team just isn't that important. She goes on to say, and I think people also need to understand that sports is not the most important thing in life. Life is the most important thing in life. We're talking about kids, Rapino said. We're talking about people's lives. We're talking about the entire state government coming down on one child in some states, 3 children in some other states. So she's saying that's the limit of it. Oh,
how would she like it? How would she like it if
maybe she's trans? I don't know.
7 men decided they were trans, and they wanted to compete in the Women's World Cup or the
It'd
Women's
be more
Olympics.
Exciting to watch.
And she didn't make the team.
Exactly.
Because somebody was there.
And she didn't have her fame, and she didn't get her 15 minutes of fame and fortune out of it.
I don't care if it's pee-wee volleyball, pee-wee football. I don't give a crap. Kids play sports to be competitive against other kids. And when you're
at the same level,
when you're putting transgender out there, so for her to sit there and say, who cares about this? Well, you know what? This child for volleyball, maybe they want a scholarship to go play volleyball.
Yes, maybe it's their only way to go to college.
And maybe they don't get a chance to get that scholarship because that one scholarship that was open to these schools, they
going to 6'8" transgender male who's transitioning to be a female.
Dale Moore, I'm sorry.
Nobody, who cares?
Dale, like you. Someone, I don't know. I'm sorry. Oops.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I just want to finish it real quick with some of the ignorant things she says. Excuse me. Show me the evidence that trans women are taking everyone's scholarships, are dominating in every sport, are winning every title. I'm sorry. It's just not happening, she said. So we need to start from inclusion, period. And as things arise, I have confidence that we can figure it out. But we can't start at the opposite. That is cruel, and frankly, it's just disgusting. Let me tell you what there, Miss Megan Rapino, soccer, who gives a shit star. You better stop it. This is what you and I talk about all the time. Because, okay, we're going to let this one go through. And then we're going to let those 5 go through. Then everybody's going to go through. You stop it before it happens and it becomes a problem. And it already has become a problem. We've seen it with the Leah Thomas and the swimming. How there have been biological girls who have lost spots in national events because he's gone out and won events.
Yep.
So that's why it's important there. Jim, that's all I got. And you got anything to add to the soccer bitch?
No, I know there's people out there that love that sport, so good for you.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I mean,
it's funny. Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I actually enjoyed watching curling more than I do soccer.
Hey, U.S. has a pretty good curling team.
Hey, that's
won
right.
Gold medal
that's
couple
right.
Olympics ago. So,
and I don't know how much difference a trans athlete would make in that sport.
All I'm telling you is, I am peak athletic condition for curling.
for the United States curling team.
I am,
or the United States bowling team. You are at top peak performance for those.
I am solid right there, boy.
You are solid. Jim, you want to move on, do you?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
Have you heard of the group Women for Winning? Or I'm sorry, Winning for Women.
Winning for Women.
Mm-hmm.
I have not. Should I? I don't.
Well, the thing is, group says the road to Republican majority runs through electing female conservatives.
Okay, I agree.
I don't doubt that at all, because look at the wave right now.
Oh God!
I'm sorry. You want to talk about proud to be an American right now?
Yeah.
I am so proud of the Republican Party.
Yep.
Because we have shown that we are the inclusive party, right?
That is correct.
Because look at the number of individuals who have won seats, running for seats, favored to win seats that are not white, rich, male.
Exactly.
It's absolutely. It's very true. I think this is a great story, and they're actually doing it. But a group working to elect more Republican women to Congress is touting its efforts and successes in congressional races across the country as the road to this year's midterm elections makes its way through the busy primary season. Winning for Women Action Fund, the political arm of a conservative women's advocacy group, Winning for Women, has already been involved in a number of races this election cycle that has seen record fundraising as it looks to help women candidates make an even greater impact to make up for the Congress. And I just can't help but this is awesome, because you see the Flores winning. You see, and yesterday you see all the I think Alabama. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, but she Congress. I think she won.
Yeah. Shoot, you're right. Trump actor.
Trump. Yeah,
very conservative Christian woman. Yes,
and I mean, this is a neat thing. I don't care. I don't. We talked to
Katie Britt, I think her name is, or something like that.
We talked to Laverne Spicer. We talked to people like that, and you're starting to see what we have been talking about. Right. They're starting to see that, wait a minute, they keep telling us that conservatives and Republicans don't accept people of color, homosexuals, women, Hispanics. And now all of a sudden, look what's happening.
Yep.
Exactly. We've never said we don't accept you. We have we don't go necessarily for special interests. That's not what we do. Okay, you work hard, and we've defined, and I'm going to get into this success thing because I think we need to address it again. But this group was launched in 2019. It was this first super PAC dedicated to electing Republican women. It endorsed over 20 candidates and spent nearly $3 million in its first campaign cycle during the 2020 elections. This included Republican Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
So, they said the group support has assigned, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself here.
No, that's all right.
And has cited that successful support as a sign of the group will play a crucial role in 2022 elections, which I completely agree. I mean, just look what's going on. I mean, Winning for Women endorsed candidates like Texas' Monica De La Cruz, Alabama's Katie Britt, that's the one. Katie Britt. Virginia's Jen Keegans, Kiggans. I just think this is awesome.
It is. Yeah, it is.
They've already seen success. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think it's far out on a limb for me to say that I think the Republicans end up with the first female president of this country.
When you'd have already said that's what I would feel more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I really would.
Yeah.
But you've got, I mean, there's a list here. You just go down the list of the women that come in. And this Britt, Katie Britt.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot about her background. I didn't look into it. I want to find out a little bit more about her. So hopefully there's no issue that drops. But I think she's potentially, just like Flores from Texas. I think these are two individuals that we need to look out for.
I do too.
Because I think there's some good special things coming from people like that. You know, and it makes me
she
proud.
Beat Mo Brooks. She beat Mo Brooks, who was very well known in that state. And so, yeah, it was great.
You look at the Katie Britts. We'll take Katie Britt. All right. We'll take all the women like Katie Britt. You can have AOC. You can have as many AOCs as
Pelosi.
you want. Omar's.
Yep.
You enjoy yourself.
Maxine Waters. Have it all.
Yep. And so I just think that was a neat story.
It's a good story.
Because it was because, you know, we're coming on to this election time and you know, it's always rich white men. How many times do we have to hear that? But so there is another story real quick do you have any questions to add to that, by the way?
I don't have any questions. No. I was just good information to know because I wasn't aware of all that information.
So stay tuned. More good things coming. But I got a little quick thing I want to talk about because it just kind of tickled me a little bit.
Something
tickled.
Something tickled you.
Ghislaine Maxwell, remember?
Oh God, yeah, we remember Jeffrey Epstein's little whore.
She's trying to use the Clinton connection to get a lower sentence.
What do you mean? like she's reaching out to Bill and Hillary?
This is good. This is why I think people like her need to talk more. She used her connection because it really helps.
Yeah,
our side.
Yep.
She can. Let me go back and see. Yeah. Okay. Ghislaine, I think Ghislaine.
I think it's just Ghislaine. I don't
Maxwell
know.
is trying to use her tie to the Clinton Foundation. You know, that wonderful group that all of a sudden disbanded after she didn't win. Huh.
Yeah, wait a second. Yeah, it is weird.
Tried to get only 4 years. For trafficking underage girls. She even said she helped launch the Clinton Global Initiative.
Oh my God, I love it.
She wants to use her connections to Bill Clinton in an effort to get herself a lower sentence for trafficking underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein. This is proven, guys. This is a woman that only wants 4 years for what she did to these
4 years.
women.
The basically kidnap girls.
The disgraced socialite pointed to her work for the former president's philanthropic, and I don't know, philanthropic, right?
Yeah, it is. It's philanthropic.
These big words. Endeavors 3 times as she argued she should serve just 4 years in jail. By the way, sentencing is June 28th.
How would anybody out there know that though? Because it's not reported. Go on.
She claimed that helping launch the Clinton Global Initiative demonstrated that she has a desire to do good in the world.
Clinton, of all the initiatives,
this was a quote.
The only thing worse was the Jeffrey Epstein initiative. What? Come on.
Maxwell will be sentenced next Monday after she was found guilty of trafficking and sexually abusing underage girls, which is not funny.
No.
So anyway, they go in to say that, you know, Jeffrey Epstein, they went into detail about how he visited the White House 17 times during Clinton's administration. Now, they can't prove that he saw the president during that time, but come on. But anyway, I just had to say that story because when I'm sitting here, she did good. She proved that she did good because she helped develop the Clinton Global Initiative, which, by the way, if this group and the Clinton Foundation did such a good job, why, when she lost the 2016 president, did it disband?
I mean, all of a sudden, the good work ended.
I even think Kamala Harris can figure that out. I do. I really think she can. Do you think? Maybe not.
She still might be too stupid.
Maybe not.
To figure that out.
Okay, I think I'll give her. Maybe not her. Maybe
AOC can figure it out.
You know what? I don't think so either. I think her head's been banged a little too much.
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
Did you see the one video of the kid coming down the slide?
Oh God, yeah.
He was hitting his head against
banging,
the side all the way down.
It's like 70 years
later.
later. It's Biden. Yeah.
People are so cruel. But
they are cruel. I
just had to.
Sometimes the internet is wonderful.
So good news, because we've got a lot of women of color.
Yeah.
Women of Hispanic descent, white women, really making a stand for the Republican Party, which we've all said all along.
Yep.
We're not exclusive. We are an inclusive group. We just have certain requirements when you come. And
one of them is not being a sex trafficker.
Please,
I'm just saying.
Please, So why is, and the last question before we move on to the last topic, why is now, or groups like that? Okay, why are women on The View not praising this, not celebrating this? Because this is what women really do.
So to me it really hit home. You started getting, you got Kristi Noem, who's governor. You had, when Nikki Haley was, in office and all that, even Condoleezza Rice, right? So none of them, the Black Caucus didn't support Condoleezza Rice. The women's movements did not support her. And it just continued. And now we're getting more and more and more of it. And the one that really just aggravated me to death, and we talked about it when it happened, was, and you did a nice little story on her, was Winsome Sears in Virginia. Her story. And so what? She's Black. She's an immigrant. She's a Marine. She was, there is nothing, first woman of color to ever be lieutenant governor in the state of Virginia, in the history of Virginia, one of the first states established in this nation. And when nobody talked about that on the mainstream media, that's when I knew. I said that I already knew they were dog shit, but that's when it really hit me. Like, that story there alone should have been told. She should be on the front of Time Mag. She should have been Times Person of the Year. She should have been, you know what I'm saying? Like, that should have been front page news everywhere. And when it wasn't, I'm like, you dog shit, racist, has been fake news, son of a bitch news media.
And the left want to look up to women like Michelle Obama, AOC, women like that. And it's like, no, okay, congratulations. They're successful in doing whatever the hell they do. Okay, but these women, look at what they've done. Look at
what did Michael Obama do?
Well,
she married.
She married a
guy.
That's pretty much it. And
what did she do?
She fixed the food.
Got no accomplishment.
She fixed the food in the schools.
Yeah, she made it untasty and disgusting.
And apples being wasted by thrown away. Anyway, I digress, because what do kids not want to eat? Fruits and vegetables.
Apples. Fruits and vegetables. Not that they shouldn't. We agree. Eat your fruits and vegetables, kids.
You look at these women, and I try to put, some of the younger women that I know in my family, that I really try to push, and I don't really try to insult. I said, read this story.
Yeah.
Read Winsome Sears' story. Read Laverne Spicer's story. Read Condoleezza Rice. Read Candace Owens. Read the stories. Now Britt's coming in. Now Flora's coming in. Read these stories.
Read these women's stories, and then tell me how that's not inspiring. I mean, these people didn't come from rich and wealth.
Nope.
These aren't people that were handed things in their life. They worked for it.
And some of them came here from another country, became a natural citizen legally. And
legally
worked hard to get where they're at. Gee,
agreed.
That's why the conservatives accept them, because that's what you did. Work hard.
Well, there you are. You did say the two words I hate: work hard.
But I will say that American pride. We guys, when you form success, I mean, there was a thing that I was looking at. I can't remember where it was referenced, but they were talking about success. And kids and people today, they deem success as how much money you make. How many times have you and I mentioned this on the show? No, that defines that you just have a lot of money, and you could be successful. You could be successful,
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that's what everybody is. Success, as you and I've said, you work hard, take care of your family, don't have somebody take care of for you. You make a mistake, oops, Fix it, move on.
Yep.
Make your life better for you and your family. I don't care what job you have. Don't care what
doesn't
you
matter
do.
what you do.
I don't care if you're don't care. That's success in this country, but that's what the United States of America gives you. If you try, you're going to succeed. Maybe not as much as somebody else because you didn't try as hard as that other person.
Yeah.
But you tried.
Yep.
And you're succeeding.
And I don't think any one of us can sit here and say that there is not some luck involved when you move around. Timing, luck, who you talk to, who you network with. There's a lot of that. I mean, I think we all get that. But the point is you could be highly successful without having the luck. I could be very successful. You may have a little bit more luck than me and are a little bit more successful. And that's only just the only other thing at that level is financial. Maybe you're a little bit more financially successful, but together, we raise our family, we do the right thing. We try to live our life right. We work hard at what we do. You're right, Jim. That's what success is. I mean,
because you look at someone like Zuckerberg, would you consider him successful? Yeah, but is it a good class of successful? He's totally rewriting the First Amendment.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken it upon himself to silence the voices of us. So,
exactly.
This country is a great country. Even though we have
greatest country,
we have idiots running this country. It's still the greatest country around. And
it is
when you have China successful, making money. Russia successful, making money. The United States, we're losing money. We are losing. Our people are making less and less and less because things are going up. Why is that? They're using their energies that they have. Russia's oil. What are they doing? Okay, United States won't buy it.
Drilling it.
China will.
That's right.
Europe's not buying it? Okay, well, Europe and the United States are going to be in trouble if you guys aren't drilling because Saudi Arabia can't keep up.
That's right.
So it's real simple. You and I know it's simple, but we just can't get it. But anyway.
I always love when we leave up, the energy resources, when we leave those prices up to foreign entities, especially ones that don't like us.
And when
it's always a fair fight.
Ask them.
It's always a fair game.
Can you produce more? No, we're not gonna.
I'm sure if I think in my head who could possibly be my worst enemy personally, I feel I couldn't go to that guy and ask him for money. I just feel I'm not going to get it.
You might have a good point.
I just feel like I'm not going to get it. So, Jim, let's move on to our last segment. What do you think?
Yep.
Speaking of money, Uncle Joey needs money. President Joe Biden said Tuesday that the government needed more money to prepare for what, Jim? Did you hear this? To prepare for the second pandemic.
Oh, no, I have not heard that.
Which he assured reporters would come. I love when Joe says the silent stuff out loud.
My guess, let me make a guess.
Yeah.
In September or October. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, I'm thinking it's probably going to be around that time, oddly enough. President Biden, responding to a question about making vaccines available to young children. Another thing, do not vaccinate your children, people, if you're listening out there. And if you're listening, if you're one of those people that love the vaccine and you're like, man, it's great, glad I got it. For one, you're probably not listening to us. But two, if you are, do not vaccinate your children. There's no studies on what this is happening. Jim's breasts have grown dramatically since the vaccines.
Amazing.
Amazingly, beautifully, by the way.
Yeah, which is why I never leave the house sometimes. Sorry, honey.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyways, responding to what did I do here? Available to young children in the wake of the most recent.
Real quick.
Go on.
Okay.
Play, Jim, I'd love for you to
interrupt. No.
I don't care.
We're doing this.
No, honestly, I don't care.
We're doing this, and then we're going to make an announcement at the end of the show. Don't ruin that. Okay, go ahead.
On to more serious news. This just in. Anyways, back to Joey, Uncle Joey. Let me repeat that. Biden responding to a question about making vaccines available to young children in the wake of the most recent emergency use authorizations, said that his administration was working to make sure that there were enough vaccines, but that his administration was also investing money into preparing for the next pandemic. Now, I can sort of understand what he means. Like, be prepared for something. So have a nest egg, get that. But Joey doesn't say stuff like that. The reporter asked about the number of doses of the COVID vaccines were available for school-age children and how many the government was prepared to provide before the administration asked for more money to manage the costs. Quote, "Well, get through at least this year. We'll get through at least this year," said Biden, adding, "We do need more money, but we don't just need more money for vaccines for children. Eventually, we need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic." Now, nothing says calm to a nation as telling everybody that there's definitively going to be another pandemic, much like we said.
I'm
September,
surprised,
October.
I'm surprised California's not building a wall around themselves.
I know. Knowing this news,
panic.
Huh? Here's what Biden says: "We have to think ahead." But Biden, I'd be happy if you just thought about right now. Just think about right now. If maybe you thought before you hopped on the bicycle, maybe, I don't know. If you just think right now. Yeah. He continued, going on to take a swipe at former President Donald Trump and suggesting that the lack of preparation on his part had increased the impact of the COVID pandemic. It's Trump's fault.
Of course. Can't blame Putin for that. So you
no, you cannot. You can't blame Putin for that. And Lord knows he's not going to blame China for that at all. Critics immediately suggested that another pandemic, or at least another COVID variant, was all part of the plan to ensure that mail-in ballots were the standard for the 2022 midterms and perhaps beyond. That's what Jimmy and Dale have been saying, folks, if you've been listening. Mm-hmm. If you've been listening, if you haven't, shame on you. Shame. Honestly. We know, Joe, you guys need those mail-in ballots, and this is your excuse, Tim Swain said. I don't know who Tim Swain is. Some of these people just tweeted this stuff. Jeff Carlson tweeted, "The DNC's midterms mail-in ballot prep work begins." "These people can't take their pandemic panic porn and stick it right where the sun doesn't shine," another one tweeted. Others argue pandemic porn, pandemic panic porn.
We gotta have that guy on.
I love that pandemic panic porn. That came from @ITGuy1959. So I don't know, but I like that dude. Yeah. Others argued that the federal government had plenty of money to throw around when it came to sending billions of dollars to support Ukraine and to manage the flow of illegal immigration at the southern border. Oh, good old Joe. Well, moving on. That's what I have as far as Joseph goes. Our good friends that we haven't talked about in a little while, and everybody's favorite source for news, CNN, sinks to the smallest weekday audience among key 25 to 54-year-old demo in 22 years.
And
Fox,
they keep doubling down.
They did. CNN had its smallest audience in 22 years this past Friday, among the demographic most coveted by advertisers as the network continued its ongoing struggle to attract viewers. In case anybody doesn't realize it, that 25 to 54 demo is really the target market for almost every advertiser out there, whether it's you're advertising automobiles, whether you're advertising liquor, whatever. CNN averaged only 56,000 viewers between the age 25 to 54 on June 17th. 56,000. You know how close we are to that, Jim?
I think if you do a per capita type thing, I think we passed them.
I think we passed them. The last time CNN had a smaller turnout among the critical category was July 10th, 2000. I don't know what happened on that day. I should have looked that up. That would have been interesting. Friday was also CNN's smallest weekday audience among total viewers since June 2014, as the network settled for only 283,000 average viewers. By comparison, just so you know, Fox News averaged 1.4 million total.
million.
200 to 8 million to so obviously leaving Fox News number one in which that's neither here nor there. You can take that for what it's worth, but that's what's happening. The dismal turnout capped a miserable 3-day stretch for CNN as the Warner Brothers Discovery Network averaged only 88,000 demo viewers between June 15th and 17th for its worst 3-weekday performance since 2014. Our good friend Brian Stelter, you know him, the bald, short, round fella. That has nothing to do with bald. I'm not done, Jim. Don't you dare start again. That's what Brian Stelter looks like.
Yeah, but it's a smirk on your face.
People who listen to our podcast on Apple and Stitcher and Spotify would not have even noticed the smirk.
Everybody watches this, they're going to look at your little...
What? It's not, I'm not, that's who he is. You know that, right? Stelter's time slot also displays how badly CNN loses to Fox. So let's get into some numbers here real quick, okay? Cable News Sunday media show June 19th that Fox News nearly tripled CNN's left-wing opinion show, which is the Brian Stelter's. What's the name of that show? I forgot now. I don't know. It's Reliable Sources. That's the name of the show.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
That's the name of his show.
Oh my God.
So we already went over the ranking, but here, Stelter, his Reliable Sources averaged only 421,000 total viewers and a mere 56,000 among the prize 25 to 54 demo. So here's who beat out CNN on that time. Reruns of Family Matters.
Family Matters?
When's the last time you watched Family Matters? Roseanne, The Office. These are reruns. Reruns of Shark Tank and Family Guy reruns.
Well, I mean, come on.
Those are awesome. I can watch Family Guy every day. But Family Matters, I about shit my pants.
Reruns.
They all reruns. They all outdrew. What?
That aren't even being made anymore.
I know. Family all outdrew Stelter's program among that demo, as did children's programming such as Peppa Pig and SpongeBob SquarePants, which, by the way, is phenomenal in case anybody hasn't watched SpongeBob SquarePants. Over 5,000 cable telecasts topped Reliable Sources. Brian Stelter's 5,000 over.
Well,
Jim, that is an incredible
but
mark. And how bad CNN's been doing.
More people watched him than the January 6th comedian.
Well, that's true.
So
that's
congratulations.
Hey, Brian. Way to go, Brian. Congratulations, CNN. Jim, that's all I've got for that. Jim, what do you think we tell the folks what's going on here with Two Guys, One Coup podcast?
Folks,
how do I put this?
Dale could go into detail, but just to let you know, we're about ready to receive a couple media passes. But go ahead, Dale.
media and press passes. We're joining the news cruise. Two Guys, One Coup, folks, will be attending the Joyful Warrior Summit that's happening down in Tampa, Florida next month under press passes and media credentials. Which is phenomenal.
This is Moms for Liberty.
I was just about to get in that. This is the Moms for Liberty Joyful Warrior Summit, 3-day summit happening in July, middle of July. And we have been invited under press credentials and been awarded those to go do some interviewing, do our shows from the summit.
Potentially live shows.
Potentially live shows and potentially a lot of interviews. Not with just a lot of the Moms for Liberty people, which we intend to do. So there'll be a lot of folks down there, but there are some pretty interesting people that are going to be attending this. Let me give you just a brief list of who might be actually attending this and speaking at it. First of all, we have keynote speaker, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida.
Can't wait.
if by some chance Jim gets to ask Ron DeSantis some questions, I will crap my pants, but we might be able to get this, folks. It is our goal. Also speaking will be his wife, Casey DeSantis, Rick Scott, who was former governor, is now senator. There's also Dr. Ben Carson. Everybody, I think, should know who he is. And also Betsy DeVos, who was the education secretary under President Donald Trump. And a series of others. Dr. Alveda King is also going to be there. I don't know if you saw that, but she will be there. And there's a bevy of others. There's people that maybe you don't hear about as much, but we're going to kind of go over who they're going to be, in the upcoming
January
week.
Littlejohn, who we talked about on a previous show, is going to be there as well. So that's kind of exciting.
And we've already made contact with her, and she is going to sit down and talk to us as well. So if you don't know her story, go back many episodes at this point. But she was another parent who was not told that her child was wanting to go through transitioning into, I think, from a girl to a boy, if I'm not mistaken.
And another interview by Two Guys, One Coup, by individuals that appeared on Fox News. So, we're big time.
We're big time, guys. We're big time. I mean, this is big for us. That's for sure.
It is.
And there's going to be a lot of media. There's going to be national media there, and you and I are going to be hobnobbing with those people. And I don't know that I'll be able to contain Jim. He's probably going to have to wear adult diapers. He'll be so giddy with excitement. But we are honored, actually, to be honest with you. I'm making fun of us being there, but honest to God, personally, we have Paige Miller to thank for a lot of that. She really pushed that for us. We're trying to be a podcast supporter for Moms for Liberty, actually, and for all that's involved in the schools.
We would like to be the podcast for Moms for Liberty.
We would be
that, because we've been a lot of these things we're talking about. We're getting the word out, but this is big. I mean, we think huge. It's big. I mean, we do.
It's huge.
We make jokes, but there will be some professionalism, and because we're there, but. This is a great opportunity to get our voice out, to get
it is
other people to hear us and other people to see us, and hopefully it gains some ground. Hopefully it does. But if it doesn't, the experience is just going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be phenomenal. The people we're going to get to meet, and the people we're going to get to interview, and the cause that Moms for Liberty stands for, and everything they do. We just are 100% on board with that. Always, have been even before we really knew the group. That we were always against protecting the children, and we just didn't know how deep it went until we started really digging into it and knowing who these people are. But it is a massive honor, and we can't thank her enough, and we can't thank the group enough. And we got a lot of work to do, because it's going to be a lot of work down there.
We'll talk more about it as we get going. As we get going, because this is
we will.
This is I'm sorry for two guys like us who just decided one day, you know what, let's just do a podcast, because our family said, why don't you guys do one? And so my daughter constantly, oh my God, I never knew you guys would get here, because they just thought we're just going to be fun, having a good time and everything else. And this to us is a big deal, and I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be exciting. We may not be able to do live shows. It's possible that we could,
until we get set up, till we know exactly where we're going to be. I mean, it's going to be it's to be honest with you guys, it's a learning experience for us in a way too. It'll be it'll be our first one, but hopefully the first one of many, and
probably
more.
The first, the only two people that got a media and a press credentials, not journalist majors.
That's right. That's probably true.
But it's going to be fun. Right. And honestly, the interviews that we're going to have, Paige, of course, with a couple people from her group from Hamilton County. Yep. They'll be on there.
We hope to get Tiffany to talk to us, who started it.
Who started it, which I think we can with Paige's help. Obviously that they're going to be fantastic. And of course, if we could get Governor DeSantis on, that would be just. I mean, we're going to have to prepare questions that if we ever do get to interview some of these individuals, what we're going to ask them, because, we're not going to be Dale and Jim typical. We're going to have to be a little bit, So.
Yeah. But I think we have good personalities that would come out, and it's, you know, I mean, I could foresee Governor DeSantis saying, "You two just follow me around and just
wouldn't that be awesome?" And then we're his press people.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right. But it's really, you know, to me also on top of it, and I know we're running long and we got to cut it here. You got things to do today, Jim, or tonight. I'm sorry. It's just going to be an honor to be able to sit there and listen to all of these people and to hear their stories and to hear what's going on and to see the work they're doing and putting into it. I really encourage all of you out there to look up Moms for Liberty if you have not yet. And I, you know, I'm assuming you have.
They do great
somewhat,
work.
But really dig deep into them. Join one in your area. Don't have to have a kid in school. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to be a woman.
There's
you
dads.
Can be a man. You can be.
They have fathers.
There's dads. There's grandparents.
Yeah.
There's aunts. There's uncles. There's brothers. There's sisters. There's everybody that's in this. Look them up. Again, join if they're in your area. If they're not, start one. Yeah. You know, start one because they'll help you with that as well.
Domestic terrorists like they're being from the
left. They are not.
You know,
and right now I think they're. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just they're not hate group. They're not at all. They just want. Why are we doing this to our children?
And they are bipartisan.
Yep.
No matter what you read out there, folks, they are bipartisan. Yep. So it's interesting. It'll be great. We're excited to tell all of you that. We're super excited for ourselves, obviously. Just to be a part of that whole thing will be really, really amazing. So, Jim, I'm going to tell everybody how to watch us in Harris. You can watch us on YouTube, currently still, on Rumble. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, anywhere you hear podcasts. Please follow our Facebook page, 2 Guys 1 Coup. See us on TikTok at 2 Guys 1 Coup. Give us a review. Give us a comment. Share it with everybody and anybody to get it out there. And people have, and we really do appreciate it. We thank you. If it wasn't for those people, if it wasn't for our families, if it wasn't for some of the folks we've met, including Paige, you know, none of all of this crazy stuff that's happened so quickly to us would be happening.
Family and friends
have been
supportive of us.
Very supportive.
And sometimes
couldn't have done it without them, honestly.
Sometimes in a fun way, you know.
A lot of times in a fun way, you know. And we really do appreciate it. And I thank personally my wife for letting me do this crap all the time. You know, she puts up with a lot of my sitting down to research and doing all this stuff. So
my wife but my wife being happy for us,
being supportive
that we're going down here to this. And it's pretty great. It's awesome.
It is great.
And that's the support of our families is definitely helps us do this. So, and we're hoping it gets bigger. We do. I mean, it would be nice. It would be awesome. But this is just a good opportunity, and can't wait to talk more about it. So.
Massively huge opportunity, to be honest with you. So, Jim, great show. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for the time you put in this week, not being, you know, at your home studio. So
it's been Monday. So
yeah. So, guys, thank you again. Remember, do all that stuff. Follow us. Blah blah blah. You've heard it already. Jim, anything else to add?
God bless the USA.
That's right, my friend. You all have a good weekend. Jim, have a good weekend, and we'll see you all next Tuesday. Adios, Jim.
Bye.
Bye.